There's a quiet moment that comes to many people later in life. It often arrives without warning. You're sitting somewhere familiar. Maybe the house is still. Maybe the day has already slowed down. And a thought drifts in, not loudly, not dramatically, just softly. It sounds like this: I thought things would feel more settled by now. Not better or worse. Just settled. You may not say it out loud. You may not even fully form the words, but it lingers. A gentle unease mixed with gratitude. Relief mixed with questions you didn't expect to still be asking. You worked hard. You planned. You reached the age you were told was the finish line. And yet something inside you is still paying attention. Some days feel peaceful. Other days feel oddly uncertain, even when nothing is technically wrong. You notice how time feels different now. How decisions feel heavier, even small ones. How conversations about the future don't sound the way they used to. And you wonder, quietly, if it's normal to still be thinking about what comes next. You might look around and see people your age handling things differently. Some seem carefree. Some seem anxious. Some never talk about money or planning at all, and you find yourself wondering where you fit. Whether you're being too cautious or not cautious enough. Whether it's wise to keep thinking about retirement when you're already in it. Or whether thinking about it means you've somehow failed to relax. There are moments when you tell yourself you should stop worrying, you've earned the right to rest, and yet your mind doesn't always listen. It keeps asking small questions. What if something changes? What if life asks more of me than I expect? What if I live longer than I planned for? What if I don't? You might not frame these thoughts as planning. They don't feel like spreadsheets or decisions. They feel more like awareness, like a low hum in the background, a desire to feel steady, to feel prepared without being tense, to feel calm without being careless. And sometimes there's a quiet pressure from the world around you. Messages that suggest retirement planning is something you do before 65, that after a certain age the work is done, that thinking ahead now is unnecessary or even pointless, as if life stops asking questions once you blow out enough candles. But inside, you know that isn't how life works. Life doesn't suddenly become predictable because of a birthday. It keeps unfolding, gently, unpredictably, sometimes kindly, sometimes not. And you're still here, still living inside it, still caring about how it feels. You may notice that what you care about now is different than it once was. It's not about growth or achievement. It's about comfort, stability, not being a burden, not feeling trapped, being able to say yes when you want to and no when you need to. It's about dignity, about sleeping well, about knowing that if something shifts, you won't feel completely unmoored. And maybe you've asked yourself a quiet question you don't often hear spoken aloud. Does planning still matter at my age? Or should I just let things be? That question deserves kindness, not judgment, not pressure, just understanding. Because planning after 65 is rarely about chasing more. It's about protecting what already matters. It's about giving your future self a little less to carry. It's about acknowledging that even though you've lived a long life, you're still living it. Many people reach this stage and assume that any uncertainty they feel is a personal failing, that everyone else has it figured out, that they're the only ones lying awake some nights, thinking about years they can't clearly see. But the truth is quieter and more human. Almost everyone feels this way at some point. They just don't talk about it. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not wrong for still thinking. You're responding to the reality that life keeps changing and you're allowed to change with it. There's a gentle shift that happens when you stop seeing retirement planning as something you either did or didn't do and start seeing it as an ongoing conversation with yourself, one that evolves as your needs evolve, one that isn't rushed, one that doesn't demand perfection. At this stage of life, planning isn't about control, it's about awareness, about noticing where you feel secure and where you don't, about asking yourself what helps you feel calm and what quietly drains you, about making small adjustments in how you think, not grand moves that disrupt your peace. You may realize that some of your worries aren't really about money at all. They're about independence, about choice, about not being surprised by life in ways that feel overwhelming. They're about knowing that if your health changes, or your energy changes, or your priorities change, you won't feel trapped by decisions made long ago. And that awareness, that gentle checking in with yourself, is a form of planning, a very human one. There's also something important that often gets overlooked. Planning later in life isn't a sign of fear. It's a sign of self-respect. It says, my future matters even now, especially now. It says, I care enough about my peace of mind to keep paying attention. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to fix anything that isn't broken. Sometimes planning simply means giving yourself permission to revisit old assumptions, to ask whether what once made sense still does, to let go of what no longer fits without shame. You may find comfort in knowing that adjustments are not admissions of failure. They are signs of wisdom, of flexibility, of understanding that life rarely follows a straight line, and that adapting is part of staying steady. As the years pass, the goal quietly shifts. It's less about maximizing and more about simplifying, less about proving and more about preserving, less about preparing for some distant future and more about making the present feel safe and supported. There's a calm strength in acknowledging that you're allowed to still care, that you're allowed to still plan in ways that feel gentle and respectful to who you are now, not who you were 20 years ago, not who someone else thinks you should be. And perhaps the most reassuring truth of all is this: you don't need certainty to feel secure. You need clarity about what matters to you. You need to trust that you can respond thoughtfully to change. You need to know that you've given yourself room to breathe. When you approach retirement planning after 65 with that mindset, it stops feeling heavy. It stops feeling like work you should have finished long ago. It becomes an act of kindness toward yourself. It becomes a way of saying, I'm still here. I'm still paying attention. And I deserve to feel at ease in the life I've built. There's no deadline on caring about your future. There's no age at which awareness becomes unnecessary. Life doesn't close the door on you. It keeps inviting you to stay present, to stay gentle, to stay engaged in ways that feel right. So if you ever find yourself wondering why planning still matters now, the answer isn't found in rules or timelines. It's found in the quiet truth that peace of mind is not a one-time achievement. It's something you tend to softly as long as you're living, and you are still living.